Welcome everybody to Studio Insights with Belvista Studios. Welcome back to another Belvista Studios, Studio Insights with Belvista Studios. Welcome back to another episode. This is the opportunity where we ask each other questions and do some collaboration and development and peer insight to help us be better humans and better practitioners. So I've got a question I'll chuck out actually, because we're all in development mode at the moment. So we're developing like e-learning, animations, supporting resources like posters. What else have we got? Like personal action plans. Just wondering, as we're all in development mode and execution mode, what particular mini interactions or new ways of presenting information that we haven't done before, that is like we're just experimenting with on these projects, that you could share, that you're like, I really like how this is going. Might not be perfect, but yeah, just to give us a bit of inspiration that we might be able to apply to each other's projects.
You can go first.
Maybe you go first, Tanya.
I do have some ideas, well, things that I've thought of. So the first thing is I love that we're using GIFs instead of images. I feel like it's like the one I'm working on now, I feel like it's really bringing it to life. Like as I look through it, I'm like, oh, it's like actually really cool. And it is a little bit next level compared to what we usually develop. So I think it's like a simple way of, instead of just like stagnant images, having like a bit of movement in it, which is really cool, I think.
Do you want to explain what that is? So the people that are, like how an example of how you're using a GIF and the difference between a GIF and image?
Yeah, so image is like a still, just like a photo, like a still photo or image. Whereas a GIF is like, there's a bit of movement to it. So it's like a video that's on loop, like a short video, and they're not doing anything like crazy. They're just like it could be like people talking in a meeting with no sound, or just like a slight bit of movement with someone looking at the camera. And so we've been adding it to, like we have banners in Articulate Rise. So rather than having images in the banners, we've got GIFs. You can put it in like click and reveals instead of having like text and image. You can have like a bit of movement. So yeah, I guess it's just like a short video that goes for like maybe 4 seconds or something and just keeps looping over and over again. So
that reminds me, sorry, just while we're on the GIF thing, because sometimes the file size of a GIF is better. So people may not be aware of that. Better in terms of it's smaller than potentially a video or something. One of the ways that I've used a GIF is I have a glossary in one of my courses, and there's like so many acronyms and stuff happening. So in introducing the glossary, we just have like a photo and all these little speech bubbles of different terms that are used in the business kind of fly out, and that's just on repeat going, what do all these things mean, is like the thing at the bottom, and then they can download the glossary. So that's another way that a GIF has turned up in my course.
Yeah, and
actually you've got one, Vic, as well. GIF Life, while we're still on that. Tell us about your little fella and how you're using them.
For one of the courses, we picked like a character to use and he's going to show up like throughout the module. So we've used him as a GIF in like what Hannah was saying in the banners. So he pops up when there's like reflection questions or things like that, and he just does a little like thinking movement thing.
You want to act it out? What do you like?
No, everyone can use their imagination. And then he also gets used in the actual animations that we're putting into the module. He's like the little narrator kind of guy to tie it all in.
And you're developing, the animations are being developed in Beyond, and you've basically made those GIFs in Beyond, exported them out, and he does things like, not this, but like pointing down, asking a question, or you might be like thinking when it's reflection time. So that's how we're bringing that like buddy on the journey out of the, it looks good. I like it because when you scroll through Rise like that, it's kind of a break in the information. So he looks cool. Yeah.
And for the scenarios that we created as well, instead of just having an image to go along with the question, we created like little miniature comic strip GIFs. So it has a little like box at the top that gives you context for the question. And then there's a character like asking a question or making a comment basically, and you have to choose how you'd respond to that. So it's like, you could kind of achieve like a similar thing just with a still image, but it just adds a bit more to the design, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Now you can go, Hannah, move on from GIFs.
Another thing that I've found is like a cool thing to do is, rather than like if you have like a big diagram that's like hard to digest for learners, like rubbing out parts of the diagram or like cutting parts out and then using in Articulate Rise like I think it's like the hotspot image, clickable image, where it's got like the little icons, and replacing whatever you've cut out and putting it into the icon pop-up box. I think it like looks really nice, like it's interactive, and it stops it from being so overwhelming when you've got like a lot of content. So that, what else? Oh, another thing, which was an idea that you had, Kim, and we're still yet to fully develop it, but for questions, rather than like writing out the question, having like a subject matter expert or a champion ask the learner the question and displaying it as like a video. So people watch the video, they get asked the question, and then they answer it. And I think that's just like a nice sort of more like human way to do questions rather than the usual like text and multiple choice.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
And how that's done, sorry, just to be a bit more specific for people so they can experiment themselves, because like, well, a couple of developers have said, oh, like, how can you push the limits in Rise? It's basically just a PDF, like that's what it looks like. And you can be creative within Rise, like you can, this one that Hannah's talking about it's just, I can't remember what the block is called, but it's either the scenario or the quiz block. And you're actually able to, instead of just having, like Vic was describing, like you could just do the multiple choice with like a paragraph of text and then go A, B, or C. But what we're doing is uploading videos in there. Vic's got the little comic book scene. So it's visually like this is happening in front of you, trying to replicate the real world, and then make the decision through using the actual block interactions. And then what Hannah's describing there is we've got a quiz, but it's a bit more professional. So in that same kind of scenario or quiz block within Rise, we're actually videoing the subject matter expert, and instead of just saying like I don't know, whatever the question is, we're getting them to give a bit more context through the video and saying, remembering back to blah blah blah. So it's reinforcing some of the learning content in the way that they're asking the question, and then a bit more personal as well, because it's kind of like this person speaking to you and going, reflect back on blah blah blah, what would you think in this situation, or how would you handle this? And they're also, on that particular one, they are being referred to their personal action plan. So the person saying, hey, open up your PDF. And if we did things like that in text, it could be heaps. So we're basically filming someone, asking the question, maybe giving a bit of refresher context within that 30 seconds or 20 seconds, like it's very short. Videos uploaded, and then they just respond A, B, C, D, or whatever. So that's just another way we're trying to kind of make it a bit, make Rise not just white and text.
Yeah, that's cool. Another thing I had was like for the card block in Rise. So at the moment you can only do like either an image or text, but Victoria came up with a good idea yesterday, which I've done for this course that I'm working on, is doing like, you can create, like you find out what dimensions the cards are, and then you can create like your own design and put your own text onto it. So it like aligns with the client's brand. And it just looks like really good. Like the text is clear and it looks like really nice. So that was like a good addition. And then the other thing I like around my course is, we haven't developed it yet, but using like a video template. So I think you found a video template on Fiverr or something, Kim, and just using that to like bring it to life. And yeah, make it more of like a nice produced video. And yeah, the other thing would probably be animations as well, which I think are quite cool and they're done well. And Vic's a legend at animation, so they always look really good. And I think the other thing, it seems simple, but I really like the dividers in Rise. So it might seem like a small addition, but it really does like help break up the content and make it look a lot nicer and digestible. So that's just like, I think it's a divider block, and you can choose how like thick you want it, pick a background color if you want, or I think you can do image dividers as well. But I think that's really helped with this course too.
Nice.
So that's my insights.
Well, it's been nice actually in terms of, because Vic and I are working on a project. She's doing the animations. I was doing the posters yesterday. So instead of doing the Rise course necessarily first, doing the posters has influenced the design of the Rise course. And I like how that's turning out. Like one of them, because the poster is like really captures the essence of the brand and makes you focus on bringing that brand to life and the key messages. And then it's like, what do we like about the poster? How can we use that back in Rise? And there's one particular part where it's like, the part of the brand that they have is like that squiggle kind of like hand-drawn thing. And we've got it does a little heart, and it's just an orange little squiggle line that runs through all posters, because that's kind of, it's on the topic or whatever. Anyway, it's a really nice brand piece. But then we've gone, that's gorgeous, put it into the Rise course, and it's turned out so nice. Hey Vic, like it really,
yeah, it does look really good.
So we're just uploading that image as I think an image full width, and then it just is this beautiful little orange thing that just breaks up the content. So it's been nice to not jump straight into Rise, but to create a nice artifact outside of it, and then go, how can we bring those elements in? And then even another thing, I guess, is like the text. So the text on the poster was like white block text, but the key message of the poster or screensaver or their social media post basically is their secondary font, which is like a squiggly one. So the primary font is like a normal bit of text, and then the second bit of secondary font is like a bit more handwritten. And we've just picked one word, like put that customer at the heart of your decisions and actions. So heart is like the key word. So we've made that the kind of more cursive secondary font and brought out the primary color, which is orange. And then now we're doing that throughout the Rise course as well. So it's nice how it comes together, and then it brings like the solution. I think it's turning out really nice.
Woo.
Have you got any others coming to mind that you've been experimenting with, Vic?
No, I feel like Hannah pretty much covered the things I'd started using as well. Mainly GIFs, I think.
Yeah. And you guys call what that was a new term as well, but I think it's really lovely, is the Cinemagraphs. Like that, when you showed me those yesterday, they're like really nice. I definitely want to like bring them into like, I know we said they were like GIFs, but they're basically, I think my understanding of the Cinemagraph.
I think it is the same, yeah.
Okay.
They sort of look different though. I don't know. We need to look into it.
Okay. But basically it's an actual video that we're getting from Canva, where it's a scene and you guys have to text over it. So like Vic in your course was like, it's about customer service, and this thing is like, remember a time where basically you've had a bad customer experience. And the video behind that text, which is a text and quote, I think, block in Rise, is like this woman, she's like not happy on the phone, and silent movie. Actually, that's what they are, silent movies, Cinemagraphs.
Yeah.
That's probably a better way to describe it. Yeah, that's so effective. Like you're just like, yeah, I've been on the phone like that woman in the video. Yeah, I can reflect right now, like you're asking me to, as a good learner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really nice.
Yeah, it is cool. It's like simple, but it really like has a big impact. So I'm glad we've discovered it.
Yeah,
It makes,
I think because it's like, oh,
sorry. You go.
I was going to say, I think because it's just like a simple switch out too, like whatever you have, wherever you have an image, you could just use one of those and it like takes it to the next level. But it's not like a lot of extra work to do. It's not difficult to do. It's just like a swap out basically. And you can pick the same kind, like if there's a picture of people sitting at a table, like get a video of people sitting at a table instead.
In
like
the meeting.
Very easy to do.
Yeah. I think if I could just summarize like the kind of tips that it is from all of this, it's like Rise doesn't have to be static. These things make it more dynamic, and it is way more visually appealing.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really liking what we're experimenting with.
Yeah, me too. It's really cool. Even like one I forgot to say was memes, like using memes where it's fit is really cool, because like it is like part of our world today. Like everyone uses memes all the time, and often they can relate to something that you're training. So I think that's been like a nice addition as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice one.
What about you, Kim? Have you had anything else that we haven't shared come up for you?
I don't think so. I think we're all like doing that, but within the brand limitations, the different brands that we're working with, because they're very different. One's like very corporate professional, another one's a bit more playful. So yeah. I think actually, do you know what? A couple of things, because that I'm thinking in my head when I'm now developing today. There was an ad last night that caught my eye, and it was quite cool. It was basically, it was kind of like the Cinemagraph that we're talking about. So there was no point, but it was one dude sitting. You guys, if you were watching State of Origin, might have saw the ad, or maybe it's always on TV anyway, but I don't normally watch TV. But the dude is sitting there at home on his couch and he's texting, and you just see him kind of being like laughing at the text message. So he's not talking, there's no anything, but you just see him immersed in his text message, and up on screen is a little like bloop, and the conversation's happening just outside, and then it switches to the person that they're texting, and he's going like joking, and like they're having a laugh kind of back and forth. But I thought like that's really nice, because there are videos that we could easily download of someone like texting and then have that like bloop, 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 like learning.
That's cool.
What's next? And another one which is kind of maybe a lower level of that, which we've done in modules before, is like the text message, like a phone text message, and it's like the 3 things, and the thing is like, it's like a chatbot, but it's pre-programmed. And really what's nice about that is just delivering little bits of information to the learner as like a text message coming through.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's nice. And you can do that, like scale it up to have the video stuff going on, or just like an image with a text message. But I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. For anyone who wants to know how to do the text message thing as well, like if you have an iPhone, I'm not sure about Android, but if you have an iPhone, you just like record your screen. So the way Victoria and I did it is,
as well, I
renamed Victoria as like a different person. That was part of the scenario. And then we were like texting each other, and I was just like recording my iPhone screen, and that was like the video output for the module, and it was ended up being like really cool.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
There's probably everyone else is like, there's an app that does that for you. You don't actually need to like really sit there and text each other. But
yeah, there probably is.
Yeah. I think as well, like we've been looking as we're going through and presenting ideas, other things, I find like music posters, like concert posters, and musician posters, and activism posters can be quite a nice way to get a key message across with the supporting need to know information. And that's helping me kind of design things a little bit different as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Fun. I think I'll just add one more. Sorry, I just sort of let's get all the value in here.
Yeah, well, we're about to go execute on this, so I'd like to be able to.
I don't know if we've done it for any of ours, but I think infographics are really good, and I think Amanda does really cool ones. So I can link in the resources below. I think, do we do a video with her, Kim? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, she's on the show actually teaching people through her process on infographics.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool for Rise as well, because you can just like have an infographic and then do like the little interactive buttons over the top of it. Yeah, so I think that's another way to bring it to life.
And also, yeah, like it is so nice, and there's 2 purposes. So in Rise, you can have your infographic on screen. If you actually divide it into, just say it's an A4 poster like that, and then there's like, if you divide it into 3 images using the block entrance stuff, it will appear on screen as like dum, 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 which is quite nice as well to like, and that's how you could divide content like there. It's like whatever it says, love, design the future, breathe. And like you're just chunking the information, but by repurposing, you actually could print that and put it on the back of toilet doors or in a notice board, you know. So yeah, I think that's cool. Cool. I feel very excited now to go like do my task this afternoon.
Woo.
All right. Who would like to go next?
Do you want to go, Vic?
Sure. My question is for you, Hannah.
Good one.
So I just wanted to ask, you've just recently handed over a project that we've all kind of contributed to, I guess. But I just wanted to find out what you think your main like takeaways were from the project as the project manager.
Good question.
Good one, Vic. What are my main takeaways? I think
it was like challenging at times.
Yeah. I think the main thing, or not, yeah, this is one thing that's coming to mind. Maybe it's not the main thing, but I think it's been really useful to be like very specific, and that's come through our email templates. So I think like our project updates are being like, this is what's happened in the past week and this is what's coming up, as well as like handing things over and saying like the review is for you to check like spelling and grammar only, don't look at interactivity, like just being really specific around what we need from our client, I think has been like so helpful, because if you're not specific, I feel like it can get out of control and people can get confused. And so I think, yeah, having those email templates has been really useful. And it helps with like phone calls and other emails like outside of that as well, because you can like refer back to what you've emailed previously and use that to support you. So that's been really useful. What else? I think just knowing that every client is going to be different, like they require different levels of support. So just being like aware of that and knowing what your boundaries are. So how much time you are able to give to each client. And that comes through like our project management time. And sometimes we go over it, sometimes we go under, but we have like a sort of standard or average for how much time we should be spending on the project management side of things. So that's really helpful. I think they're probably the main things for now. But I was really proud, like, yeah, I was really proud of what we developed and what we did, and felt like really good about what we handed over. So it was like a very good win for the team, I think. Yeah. It was cool. I think
I'd like to just come from the other perspective, the customer perspective on what you're giving, like your reflection, Hannah, because what you've mentioned is being very clear and specific. And yeah, I think like it's just interesting that this came through today. So someone else has been using our email templates that are available on the Creator Hub. They actually reached out about their customer receiving the email templates. And so that is so freaking amazing. So she is a consultant and she uses them. And she said, I wanted to share. So this is, I just want to like, being specific helps us, and it helps us keep projects on track, deliver milestones within the schedule, helps us deliver to the scope. So there's lots of benefits for us as a team or for people as practitioners, but also this is how it's received by your customer, right? So, and well, you're going to hear it. So she said, I wanted to share some rave reviews I've received from your email templates. Please feel free to use this to advertise on your social media. Feedback when, so she's saying feedback when I used the project kickoff email template, and the client gave me, so this is what the client responded, but she said, and the client gave me all the items requested by my due date. So that's a massive win, because cool. Yeah, that's huge. And this is what her client said to her. Thank you for being specific about your needs and giving me due dates. This project management is critical for our success. And then she also used a project update email template. And this is the feedback she got from her client. You are amazing. And I can't thank you enough for giving me an easy, which is in capital letters. That's why I'm like emphasizing, an easy, what does she say? Button during this chaotic, maybe that's a typo. Anyway, giving me an easy button during this chaotic season of my company's life. Yeah. It's just like, that's just like the customer experience of being good at doing those things.
Yeah, it's so useful. It would be so good for the customer because they know exactly what's happening. Like they can share with their boss where the project's at and what's happening, and they know exactly what they need to do. Like we do like action required by you, and we make it stand out in our emails. So the client knows like this is what I have to do from this, and the rest is just like information. So I think it's really useful. Yeah.
Actually, it's cool as well because I've had like a client use that back on me now.
Oh, really?
It's so good. Yeah, because they'll be like, they're a repeat customer. So they'll be like, here's the brief, new project, whatever it is. We have this amount of money. This is the deadline. Here's whatever it is, right? So context. And then it's like action required by you. Please submit proposal. Please book in meeting to discuss kickoff. And I'm just like,
what?
Yes, okay, I'll do that. So easy. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
They've obviously received the benefit and gone, this is helping us. And now they use it within their team when they're talking back to us and other stakeholders as well.
Yeah. It's so good. Well, I think I use it with you guys. I use it with you, Kim, I think.
Yeah, I do it in my handover email.
I'm like, actually, how about you?
It's so good though, because then it's just a checklist and you're like, I know exactly what I need to do to get it to the next steps.
Yeah. It's so good.
Especially since a lot of the emails we send, like they can get quite lengthy sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do I actually need to do with this? Like you don't have to sit there and try and interpret, like, are they doing that or am I doing that? Or is it just like an FYI for me? Like, it makes it a lot easier and quicker to figure things out.
Yeah.
I need it spelled out.
No, but we've applied instructional design to how we write emails and we're all like lit up going, yeah, it makes my life easier.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I thought of something else. Can I share it?
Yeah.
Another thing with project management, I think like stepping into the shoes of them, you made me think of it when you're talking about the customer perspective. So realization I've had is like, sometimes I don't step into their shoes and think what it would be like from them, like their perspective. And like that came up with like jargon that we use in the L&D world, or like tech sort of language or terminology. So for example, like we were talking about an LMS in an email and the client was like, I don't like, what is an LMS? And I think they had to ask, like, it was 3 different terms being like, I actually don't know what you mean by that. Can you provide like definitions for it? And I was like, that's so true. Like they're not always working in that learning and development world. So they're not going to know what we're talking about. So that's something moving forward, I want to be like really clear around, is this terminology they would know? And if not, like spell it out a bit more rather than just like talking the way that we do to each other. So that was another lesson. And I think the biggest thing I've realized is having, it seems like so simple, but every morning I have like a calendar invite that's free that just says like whatever the client's name is. So every morning, like it's like front of mind when my mind is fresh. And I don't like do something with it every single time, but I just go, yeah, like I've got that project. What's happening with it? Does anything need to happen today? And that has been really useful because in the past I can get really caught up in tasks, forget about, like not completely forget them, but might be a couple of hours later and I'm like, oh my God, I was meant to do this. So it's just really nice, like having those little reminders for myself, but that works for me. It could be different for everyone.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nice. Thanks for sharing.
Good question, Vic.
What you got, Hannah? Close us off.
My question's for you, Kim. So I wanted to know from you what you think we as practitioners need to know in order to support our clients with like the final file that we hand over. So it's something I've been dealing with recently. So it could be like the SCORM file, or it's like basically the output of the e-learning. And I've had like different questions, but I feel like I'm not completely, like I don't have all the knowledge that I need to be able to support them. So I'm just wondering from your perspective, what would I need to know or what should I learn to help them?
I think the first clue to look for what to need to know is the publishing settings that are available within your development tool. And that's a starting point. Do you know the answer to those questions?
Yeah.
And if you don't, ask them, because you have to publish it. So when you hit publish, there are heaps of different options. So what are they for this client, which we capture in a style guide so we know for future. And where is it going to end up? Because not all projects end up in an LMS. Some just go on a website, or some are on a CD. So where is it going is the other question to ask.
Okay. And you would find that out at the beginning of the project.
I think it's a good idea to find it out when you're getting all those, if you look at actually the project brief questions template that we have, some of the questions are in there. Yeah. And we do that because you don't want to find that out at the end if they're like, we don't have an LMS. Why is this a SCORM file? Or we need to be able to track something, but we don't have an LMS. How are we going to do that? That will change how you develop the solution. That may change the price that you need to charge, because there's more effort to figure out and work with their IT team around where it's going to be hosted and how do you track completion of this particular course. And they say they need to track completion, but do they really? So I think just have a look at the project brief questions, and that's it really. But the thing, it's always, what's the problem I'm trying to solve right now? What do I know? What do I not know? And then you can't always know everything. Yeah. So when you come up against something else that the day later or a week later, or a new question has arrived, you just go, okay, well, I don't know the answer. So what questions do I need to know to ask to get closer to the answer?
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you.
Oh, good. All right. Well, I'm excited now to go implement a lot of the things that we've been talking about to our client projects. So thanks for the inspiration. And thanks everyone for watching another episode of Studio Insights with Belvista Studios. We appreciate you. Any of the resources that we mentioned will be in the link of in the caption, the description, whatever it is. Have an awesome day. You are a valued human being. Go out and be valuable. Bye. What's up, awesome human? Thank you, thank you, thank you on behalf of myself and the Belvista Studios team for continuously choosing to learn with us. We really appreciate it. If the tips and the insights and the context resonate with you and you want to take your skills to the next level, or you want to make your life way easier, you will love our Creator Hub. The Creator Hub is a place for people like you and us. Basically, it's the stuff that we use internally at Belvista Studios, and then we just share it publicly with you. The Creator Hub is created by instructional designers for instructional designers, and what you'll love there at the moment is we've got a quiz, Could I Be a Better Instructional Designer?, that has so much tips in the feedback if you're interested in human-centered design or just taking your skills to the next level in terms of the solutions you're creating and the problems you want to solve. But in there as well, aren't we cute? That's us. But we've got the coaching courses, freebies, give us gratitude, and also we've got some templates. And basically they're always around the lens of learning experience design, instructional design, and e-learning. So a human-centered design focus is very much what we're about at Belvista Studios. So putting your learners at the heart of a solution and creating something for their needs. So there's the human-centered design stuff, and then we've also got the business stuff. So this is the stuff they don't teach you about when you want to become a freelancer or a consultant in the instructional design world. So go check it out. The link is in the description. You can check out everything that is available for you. Thank you for choosing to learn with us. Continuously invest in your skills. You will be rewarded as an instructional designer. Share this stuff, share it with other people, because when we are better instructional designers, we create better solutions that create better humans, that create a better world. So we have a very important role, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Have an awesome day.